Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining today on this webinar here with Book Creator. So for those that are maybe not familiar, Book Creator is one of our digital subscriptions we have available to HRC for every teacher and student. So I'll share a little bit about a bit of an overview of Book Creator, then we'll actually dive in and do a quick tutorial in terms of some of the ways you can get started with Book Creator. My name is Mario Leftros. I'm a technology integration specialist here in HRCE, one of three that supports schools with effective uses of integrating technology into the curriculum. So we come in, we do classroom sessions or work with you individually, whichever works with you. So I would like to begin with a land acknowledgement that we are in Mi'kma'ki, which is the traditional ancestral territory of the Mi'kmaq people. It is also acknowledged that peoples of African descent have been living in Nova Scotia for over 400 years. So let's continue to honor and offer gratitude to all Nova Scotia communities and the rich heritage and cultural knowledge that they contribute to our province and to our learning. So for those that may not be familiar, Book Creator is really at its essence, it's a way to create interactive digital books, fosters creativity, engages students, offers multiple ways that they can represent their learning. At the same time, it can also be used as a teacher tool. Teachers can present content through Book Creator because it has a lot of great built-in tools, which I'll talk about to support students. It's a suitable tool for all grade levels and all subject areas. We have teachers from primary to grade 12 using it, from every subject possible. So it's readily accessible and available to all teachers and students. As mentioned, it is a great tool that supports UDL in the classroom because with Book Creator, you can create these digital books, or students can create digital books that offer multiple ways for students to engage in the content, motivation, multiple ways they can represent their learning, and express their understanding because you can add text, you can add images, you can add videos, you can record your voice, there's speech to text options, there's translation options. So you have students where English is not their first language, they would be able to translate portions of text or the whole text. And the books can be read back to them as well, so they can be kind of presented in the form of an audiobook. So it can do all these things. You do combinations of them, however you want to use it to support your students, or ways that students can use it to represent their learning. It's all available within Book Creator itself. So what we'll do is we will kind of jump in and look at Book Creator. So bookcreator.com is the website. Like we said, we have a subscription here in HRCE. So that gives you the upgraded version, because that adds a few extra features that aren't available in the free version. But the main big difference as well, besides those extra features, is that the free version only allows for 40 books to be created in a library. So if you think of it in a classroom setting, every student creates one book, you're getting close to filling that limit. So they wouldn't even be able to create a second book. So with the upgrade version, you can have up to 1,000 books. So that's one of the great features of Book Creator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of back up a little bit here, take us through the steps as if we were coming into Book Creator. So bookcreator.com is the website we would go to. I'll show about creating a classroom as well. So the teacher would sign in. So what would happen is if you already have Book Creator and you're upgraded, you would just sign in with Google. Teachers, if you're new to Book Creator, and what will happen is we will send you the information once you're upgraded in terms of joining our regional subscription. So I'm just going to click through signing up with Gmail, click on my name, and I land in Book Creator. If it's your first time in Book Creator, you may see a few tutorials, different things pop up. I'm just going to go onto the main page. So this is where you would normally land within Book Creator. A few things before we start to jump into seeing what Book Creator actually is and what it can do. There's a few other areas that you may wish to explore. So there is a Discover tab on the top, so you can see some pre-built templates created through Book Creator. So if you're just looking for some ways to incorporate it in various subject areas or for various grade levels, you can grab any of these templates and they're totally editable. So you can kind of remix it. You get a copy of it for yourself, use which portions you want to use, edit things, add your own flair to it. It's all available for you to use. There's also a few other options to kind of further your learning. There's tutorials that are built in here, short videos. You can also take some built-in book creator certifications if you just want to enhance your learning. It's like about a 45-minute course that you can do, maybe an hour to kind of learn some of the basics. Then you do a little quiz and you can become a certified book creator author. So we'll jump back here in terms of our main library here. So here I am with Book Creator. So you can create your own libraries. You can have libraries that are shared with you and other teachers. So that's handy if you are a classroom teacher and you're using it with your students, but maybe you have a support person at your school, resource, learning center, whatever it might be. They can be part of the library as well and support the students that they work with. So you can add co-teachers to your library. So I'm going to actually go through and create a new library here. There are a few settings you should really be made aware of. The first thing you have to do is obviously give your library a name. So if I said, called it my grade 6 classroom, for example. There's a few options here, settings that you want to be made aware of, and some of it will be kind of up to you in using your teacher discretion, knowing your students, which ones would work best. But obviously you want to be able to search for images. That's just a built-in, like a Google search within Book Creator. It's a safer search. It's not like going out to Google and searching kind of wide open on the internet. You obviously want them to edit their own books. You can have it to create multiple books. This is, again, when you have that 1,000 book upgrade, it's very easy to do that. Now, this one here is one that you will have to consider here, the option to read each other's books. So typically you may want to start with that. You just might have students that want to really express themselves, write in a creative fashion, but don't really want others to be able to read their book aside from the teacher. So you can turn that off. The only thing with Book Creator is it's either all on or all off. You can't kind of pick and choose. So that's the thing. It's kind of one or the other. What you could do potentially is if you had maybe 10 students that wanted to be able to share their books with others in the class, you could then create a second library and you could actually share books between libraries. So they could create it in my main classroom library, then maybe I create a second library where I go through steps of creating a library, call it the library classroom, whatever you want to call it, something that indicates that it's books for public viewing, and then make copies of those books and place those books in there. So there are ways that you could share individual books. Turning on collaboration, again, the default is off. That allows, again, for students to collaborate on books, which in theory is a great tool. You might want students to work together on a book. Again, but that one is another one that's either on for everybody or off for everybody. So as a student, if that's on for me, I could actually take my book and pick and choose which students I want to collaborate with, even if they do or don't want to work with me. So just keep that in mind. There could be options to of sharing going on where maybe it's not part of the assignment or activity that you create. You want to have this unpublished or books online. You as a teacher do have control over that, so you can actually get links to individual books that maybe you want to share with a parent or guardian at home. So you can leave that off and still do that anyways. And that just gives them a link to the book. They don't need Book Creator to view it. It's just kind of like a website they go to. Again, your choice to be able to add comments to their books, up to you. You obviously would like them to be able to use spell check. And then these are some new features. You can see there's a new button here. The translation features that you can have. You can have them translate entire books, translate portions of text, audios from transcripts. So again, you can just leave them all on. If there's the ones that you don't want on, you can do that and turn it off. But whatever kind of works for you. But translation is a new feature, and it's a great feature for a lot of our students. And so I'm just going to go in and create my library. So here's my grade 6 Lefteros library. So this is a new library here. And again, what would happen for me as the teacher, if I want students to join this library, you can see up top here, there's an option for them to, for me to show the invite code. So they don't need to know this code or write it down. Essentially what you can do is you could just copy the invite link. So this just generates a link to this library. I could post that in my Google Classroom. Students would just click on the link that's in Google Classroom that I've copied from here. They would be prompted to sign in with Google, which they do, and then they're right in the library. They don't need to know this code, memorize it, type it in at any time. So it's a neat way to an easy way to get your students into your class library. So once your students are in your library, this is where the fun happens. So they can start creating books. You can see there's options here to create books from scratch, where they just get blank pages and they're building the book up from the beginning. You can start a book from certain templates in there. You can copy a pre-made book. So you notice, if you recall, when we looked at some of the options that were in the book creator library that you can use as templates, you can kind of copy some of those and do that as well. So we'll go into creating a book from scratch just so we can see the various features that are within Book Creator. So I'll create my book. And again, presented with a lot of options, which is great. You can see there's different sizes of books. There's even like comic books or graphic novels you can create. There's a templates tab in here. So if I was doing more of like a magazine type book, I can pick that. If I was collecting recipes, maybe we're doing a cultural project and we wanted to create more of a cookbook of recipes from around the world, we could do that. So lots of options in here that you can use. And again, you can edit them as you wish. I'm just going to pick this blank square book here to get started. And what happens here is, boom, I'm right in my book creator. So you can see up top here, this is the cover of my book. The beauty and great thing of a book creator is you don't have to do things in a linear order. Ideally in the classroom, we would have maybe storyboarded a book a little bit, maybe did some writing in a Google Doc. You can copy and paste things from your Google Doc if they're working that way. Would have planned a little bit, but we're just jumping in here. So maybe myself, I don't even know what the title of my book is, which is typically on the cover, what picture is going to be on the cover. I don't have to start with the cover. I can just, over on the right, there's a little sort of sideways roof looking button here. I can click on that and go to the next page. So here I am on page 2 of 3. So now I can start writing my book. So I always let students know that anytime they see a yellow or gold, whatever you want to call that button, that's what they want to look for. Yellow and gold buttons are our friends in Book Creator. We will click on this yellow and gold button, and this provides us with the opportunities to add content to our story here, what we're going to write. You can see I have an option to add images. I could take a picture with my webcam. So if I was artistic, I drew something on paper, I could take a picture of that and embed that in my Book Creator. There's an option to use a drawing pen. This is a little bit challenging, even if your students had mice to use. The trackpad on the Chromebook would certainly be challenging to draw with. I don't use it a whole lot, but it is an option there. If students have that ability to draw with their device, that's certainly there for them to use. Text is one we'll use a lot, where we can add text to the page. And this allows me to record audio recordings on my page. So if I was just going to start to create a simple story, I can just click on text, and I can just say, one day there was a cat walking down the street. Something basic like that. I can hit done. It pops in right on my page. So maybe, again, I could write more of my story. If I want to add a little bit of imagery to this story, I can then hit the plus sign again, that yellow button up top here, gold, and this time I'll go to images. And again, you can see there's a microphone here, so I could record this. So, maybe I want to find an image of a cat walking down the street. I can record myself, and it'll do speech to text to put that in there. I'll just type it in here, cat walking down the street, and let's see what pops in here. I'll get some images. I can scroll down and kind of go through. You'll see a variety of images, some cartoony graphics in there as well. You might notice there's some images of not cats walking down the street and thinking, why are those in there? So that's a good lesson for students as well. Because I typed in the words cat walking down the street, I may have got images like this that are of somebody just walking. I may have images of just a street. So it is taking the words that are typed in my text. So maybe I'll just grab this image here. Again, I get a yellow or gold button. I hit add, and it pops up on my screen. Okay. Again, students can now use the layout of how they want the page to look by just clicking and dragging. You can notice I get blue buttons on the side. I can resize in here as well. So I can place, again, text at the top, text at the bottom, move my picture up, whatever it might be. Okay. And then I can continue my story. I could write more here if I want, or I can turn the page and go through that process again. I can hit the plus sign. I might do some text. The cat met up with a dog. Put that in there. Go through the steps again of finding an image. Go to my images. I might just do cat and dog. I could be a little bit more descriptive in my details if I wanted to. Whatever it might be. One of the things that's nice about Book Creator as well, let's say I want to use this image here. Okay, so I have the cat met up with the dog. So you notice this image here is of a couple cats and a couple dogs. So you can do a couple things. You can edit the images that are in there as well. So I could click on this image, and there's a little edit button here. Okay. Oh, apologies, that's not the one I wanted to click. I can click on this image, sorry, and then click over here at the top right. There's a little eye button. They call it the inspector button. I click on that, and I can do a couple things. I could crop the image. So maybe I want to take the dogs that are on the left. So I can crop that image. Okay. I might get a little bit of extra things there. I can crop it this way as well. And I'll hit crop. And another great thing you can do in Book Creator, again, if I hit the letter I, there's a new feature called background room. So maybe I just want a different background in there. I can click that. Oh, it put in my other ones back in, so I may have to recrop it there. But you can remove the background images there as well. I'll crop that again. There we go. So there we go there. So I have the image, okay? I could, in theory, go back and grab another image, and maybe I'll just do a park. And I can put a park in there. So maybe I want to put this image in here, and I add it. That'll pop in there. Now, because I'm adding that image, you notice it goes over top of those dogs, okay? So again, another great feature, Book Creator. I have this image highlighted. I hit my letter I, and you can rearrange. You can layer things in here. So I'll just push that back, and now my dogs are here in the park. So again, I can add more words here. I could add audio to this. If I hit the plus sign, I could record myself and record my voice on the page. You could also change the layout of the words or the fonts, the colors, and even the color of the page. So the default the pages are white. I can click on the page, click the letter I, and pick from a variety of colors. You can see it changes the background color. You can pick from some different styles in here as well, and it does things like that. Again, now that I've done that, the text may be hard to see, so I can click on the text, hit the letter I, and then I could change that to a font, a color that's a little bit more visible. Maybe I'll make that the font a little bit larger as well. You can stretch out the text boxes. So whatever layout kind of works for students. So this is, again, getting the content on the page is great, and then they can really spruce up their books in any way possible. So now maybe I have an idea what my book's about. Maybe it's a story about a cat of some name and a dog. So I can go backwards, go to my cover, and continue to write that as well. Book Creator will save as you continue to work. So again, maybe my time's up in the class. I want to come back to this a little later, so I can just exit right out of it, and the book will be there for me to continue. So when I go to my library, there's my book, and I would just click back in and continue to edit it. I did mention there are a few other options in here as well. So you notice, again, if up top, there's an option to have your book be read to you. So I can go back to the beginning, click on the play button, and then up top here, you see there's a read to me option. So that's, you got the students, the books be read back to the students. The translation features are in there as well. So I can click on a text, click on the letter I, and then I have options to translate. And then when I click translate, it'll ask me what language I want to translate it to. So that's great for students that want to translate things into their language. Or if you create content for the students to engage with, maybe it's material around something you're teaching in science, whatever it might be, you could translate that for them as well. So overall, that's kind of a general overview of Book Creator. The idea is they can create books. On the teacher end, when you come into a library, you'll see up top, you can view your books. I can click on this, and if I had students in this class, I would see all their names. I could click on any book that they've created, open it up, read it, add comments to it, assess it, whatever it is I'm going to be doing with it. So it's all visible to the student, or sorry, to the teacher. And as I mentioned, right now in those settings, reading each other's books is off. So the students would see their books, and they actually see any books you create as a teacher. So this book here would be visible to every student in my class. So it's a great way if you want to model something, what you want your students to be able to create, or again, if you're just creating a book where you want them to just read some information, engage in some content, and enhance their learning, you can do that as well and almost be like a digital textbook for them. So that's a little bit overview of Book Creator. The last thing I will mention is kind of the next steps here. So please share with others that we do have the Book Creator subscription available to all teachers and students in HRCE. If you would like support, please at tilt@hrce.ca. As long as your school is indicated, you have your email signature there, we can, or whoever is responsible for your school will respond to you. Be sure if you want to learn more or any other subscriptions that come out or any tech tips, we do a monthly newsletter. The link is within this slide deck, or you can sign up on our Tilt website, which is found on the Ginez Pez launch page. So thank you for your time. Thank you for watching this webinar, and hope you have a chance to enjoy Book Creator, use it with your students, and please reach out if you have any questions.